Here's what's happening in Golden Bear athletics. In Kutztown women's soccer, the Golden Bears now own a 6-game winning streak after shutting out Lock Haven 3-0 last weekend. Sam Costello scored a goal and an assist en route to being named the PSAC Athlete of the Week in women's soccer. Now 2 wins shy of a school record, KU owns a 7-3 record in the PSAC. They play at Mansfield today. KU field hockey also had a PSAC Athlete of the Week after senior forward Jamie Koenig scored a hat trick in a 5-4 win last Saturday over Mercyhurst. Heading into today's game against Bloomsburg, the Golden Bears own a 5-4 record overall with a 2-1 mark in conference play. Kutztown enjoyed a third PSAC Athlete of the Week as Madison Houseel led the Golden Bears into victory at the KU Fall Invitational. Houseel scored a 163 for the 2 rounds, tops among individuals who participated in the tournament. In volleyball, the 9-9 Golden Bears went 1-2 in 3 PSAC East Division games, moving to 3-4 overall in the conference. KU lost to Lock Haven and Pitt Johnstown, but swept East Stroudsburg in 3 sets. And finally, both the men's and women's cross-country teams compete in the DeSales Invitational. For more information and daily updates about the Golden Bears, make sure to log on to kubears.com. Our first guest this week is the head coach of the women's volleyball team in his 17th season, John Gump. And Gumper, we just gave the numbers. So far, it's a very young team. How is the season going along for you?
We're making progress, which with a young group is something that you really look for. We've had some moments where we've looked really, really good, and then we've had some moments where we've looked really, really young. But from the beginning of the year till now, we've made steady progress, and even though we went 1-2 in our last 3, it's starting to look like some of the young players are really starting to figure out what we're looking for, what playing at this level is all about, and I'm excited for the matches coming in the next few weeks.
You always hear the term growing pains in athletics. Is that something you were expecting with this team this year?
Well, I thought we had a talented group coming in. I was right about that. We have some really, really talented players, but it's just an adjustment period. The speed of the game, the quality of athletes on the other side of the net that they're not used to seeing. Typically you get a talented high school kid and they were the best player on the floor in most of the matches they played. Well, that's not the case for them anymore. They're seeing good players on the other side of the net, so having to adjust to all of those things it takes time.
How strong is the PSAC?
It's probably top to bottom as strong as I've ever seen it. We went out west in the first crossover, went 2-2, and I was thrilled with that. We've got another crossover coming up, probably the tougher of the 2, 4 really good teams that'll be coming here in another week or so.
You have had an interesting schedule. You didn't play at home for about a month, and now you're in the midst of, I believe, 9 straight matches at home. How is that all shaken out for you?
It's been nice to be home. It's been nice to not have to write the words bus departs on a weekly schedule. And it just seemed like with every week we went farther and farther. We were at Shepherdstown in West Virginia, then out to Wheeling, and then finally in Erie. And, our kids were a little sick of seeing the inside of a Beaver bus.
And I would imagine, especially for the younger players, it's tough getting acclimated to your semester when you're doing that much traveling early.
Yeah, they missed, fortunately, the bulk of the missed classes are at the beginning of the semester for us, which is good. But yeah, it's an adjustment. They're adjusting to so many things at the beginning of the year that there's a lot going on for them.
And I would imagine it's tough to maybe get consistent practice time if you're traveling so much.
For about 3 weeks in a row, we didn't get much practice on Thursday. A quick 45-minute, hour-long walkthrough, and then on the bus and to a hotel.
You mentioned the team has grown a lot so far. What are you hoping to see the rest of the way?
Want to continue to see progress, want to see the younger players get comfortable with what they're doing and just start to play rather than have to think about what they're doing.
Gumper, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, Steve.
KU volleyball coach John Gump, our guest. We'll be back with the all-time leading scorer in KU men's basketball history, Stephen Dennis, our guest next when the Gold Rush Report continues in a moment. Welcome back to this week's KU Gold Rush Report. I'm Steve Degler. A very special guest this afternoon from across the globe. It is former Kutztown University men's basketball star Stephen Dennis, who joins us from Australia. And Stephen, what takes you down under for this basketball season?
Well, I actually got a call, and the team out here liked me, and I decided to take my talents to Australia.
Not South Beach, but Australia. I understand, though, some bad luck for you a couple of weeks ago. What happened?
Yeah, well, we actually went to the Hamilton Islands. There's these beautiful beaches down here. And we went out there, and I kind of got a little sore out there by playing in the water, running on the beach. Then I came back 2 days later after we got back, and just took a quick step, and my Achilles just snapped.
So what's the prognosis for you now?
Well, I think I'm out for about 4 to 5 months.
What was it like over there for you to be able to play in Australia for the first time?
Oh man, it's great, man. It's also a great experience just to play basketball internationally. And down here, I mean, they took me in well. They loved me. They allowed me to play my game, and it was looking like it was going to be a great season this year.
Obviously, you've had some success both in NBA camps and also in the NBA D League. What's it going to take for you once you get healthy to get that first crack in the National Basketball Association?
Well, I think when you first come out, they normally look at guys just straight off potential. So, I mean, when I came out, that was what everybody was looking at me as a tall point guard, quick and athletic. It was like, yeah, he's young, got a lot of potential, and he's intriguing because you don't see a lot of 6'5" point guards. So for me now, I think it's just more about getting more experience. So now when they look at me now, it's like, yeah, he's still a big, quick, athletic guard, but he had experience now. So let's give him a shot. So
what are some of the
reason why I'm on overseas?
What are some of the areas of your game that you've had to work on since leaving Kutztown?
It was more so making sure I could stretch the defense with the three. And one thing that changed a lot about me in Kutztown, I was a straight scorer in school. So now my game changed a lot because I score, but now I play real good defense, and I get a lot more assists.
Well, let me ask you about that, because you also, even though you have the school scoring record, you also have the record for assists here at Kutztown as well. You're number one in both categories. Which one of those are you more proud?
Well, I mean, I'm proud about the scoring, but I had great help with Andre Willard and Dave Ben.
Yes, you certainly did. And when you look back at your time here at Kutztown, what are some moments or maybe games or seasons that kind of stand out for you?
I look back and, well, I mean, the most frustrating moments about Kutztown was just our junior year when we was 28-5, and 3 of our 5 losses was to Gannon in our first year in the league. So, and we probably would have went deep into the tournament and maybe had a chance at a national championship. So that's probably the most disappointing thing. But I mean, the whole time in Kutztown was great. It wouldn't have been possible without York and Driscoll. They took me in and allowed me to be me, and I strive from it.
How much was the factor of being able to come into a Division II school and play right away in your decision to come to Kutztown?
Well, actually, I mean, Driscoll was only person, probably the only college coach that really believed in me. So my decision was to go there was automatic because he believed in me from day one. Everybody else was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So after my first year, I actually had chances to go somewhere else, but he took me in and was a father figure to me, him and York. So I made sure that I didn't leave, and I decided to stay.
We're talking with Stephen Dennis, the all-time scorer in men's basketball here at Kutztown, 2,406 points in his career, the Division II National Player of the Year. Stephen, at what point in your career here did you feel that maybe a professional career was possible?
Actually, after my sophomore year, I think actually after my freshman year, when I got a freshman All-American, I was like, maybe I might start getting some looks because I actually came here and did what I was supposed to. So after that year, I just started working harder and just kept pushing and started getting some looks.
Mentioned you played in Germany, you're now in Australia. What's the difference playing international basketball compared to what you were used to in the United States? Well,
the United States is more of a individual game. It's more of who scores the most points, who has the most assists, who has the most highlights, who stands out the most. But in international, it's more about team concept on offensive and defensive, and everybody's working together to look good, but also for one goal, and that's the team. So that's the one big adjustment. You don't see a lot of guys out here scoring 40 points. Like, it's rare.
What was it like for you to put on that NBA uniform for the first time in a training camp scenario? I got to imagine there were a lot of dreams coming true with that.
Oh, man. But first year out of Division II, when you kind of, in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, I'm good enough, but I'm also Division II, so I might not get the shot. But once I actually got the shot, it was a dream come true. I literally stood in my locker and just wore my uniform and didn't even go out for media day, by the way. I just sat in my locker room and I'm next to Blake Griffin and Baron Davis. Like, it felt great.
From a confidence standpoint, once you're healthy, do you feel that the NBA is inevitable for you? You'll get there at some point?
Oh, yes. I mean, and you always want to find something good about injury, even though it's bad, but you want to find something good about it. And I'm happy that it happened this early in the year, so I have time to go home, rehab, and I'm also in the States now, so I'm closer to teams, and I'll be healthy by April. So once people see once I'm healthy again and I'm around, I think I'll have a shot again.
When you look at your experience playing in the NBA Development League, how close is that to the caliber of play you're going to play in the NBA? Is it close, or is it still a pretty big step?
Well, it's a pretty big step just from experience-wise. The guys in the D League are more so going for their own, but they're just as athletic as guys in NBA, but maybe don't have just as much confidence or basketball IQ. But athletically, it's probably the same.
Well, Stephen, we appreciate you taking the time. We're sorry to hear about the injury, but we hope you have a speedy recovery and you're back on the court very soon.
Oh, yeah, I will be.
Great talking to you. Good luck to you, Stephen. Stephen
Thank you.
Dennis, our guest on the KU Gold Rush Report. The second half kickoff comes your way in just a moment.